I feel like that's happened so many times. Like even I hear from my friends that like their coworker who's 19 is dating the 40-year-old manager, and I'm like, what is going on?
You're listening to Workplace Inappropriate, where HR professionals and their guests discuss real workplace scenarios to answer the question, what is workplace inappropriate? Co-hosts and HR professionals Kieran Lowry, Kate Owen, and Zoe Grahl of WorkforcePositive.com won't bore you with employment law or get righteous about workplace conduct. Instead, they're going to answer real questions, like should I dance on the table at the Christmas party? Or can I tell someone their clothes are workplace inappropriate? Kieran, Kay, Zoe, and their guests are lifting the lid on some HR juice and losing the HR fun police tag. With their A-plus HR advice, you can have fun and still keep your job. Now, here are your hosts, Kieran, Kate, and Zoe.
Hello, welcome back to the Workplace Inappropriate podcast. I'm Kate, this is Kieran, this is Zoe, Megan, and Average Joe. And we're here to tell you a little bit about some stories that we've found on the internet, in specifically, am I the arsehole at work? And we're going to put a little bit of insight from our HR and from Average Joe's perspective on some of these stories. But first, before we get into it, I'll just tell you a little bit about Workforce Positive.
Welcome to the Workplace Inappropriate podcast, brought to you by Workforce Positive. My name's Kieran Lowry and I'm the Director of Workforce Positive, and we'll take a couple of moments just to tell you a little bit about us. We're a HR consulting firm. We're based in Queensland in Australia, and our passion is to fortify our client businesses against risk, to formulate their success pathway towards their future realised. And as a business owner, I know that your future realised is the zenith of all your plans and goals, all the hopes and dreams that you had when you started your business. So how do we do that? Well, we do all the usual things that you'd expect. Employment contracts, we do recruitment, we do success profiling, we do individual performance, learning and development plans, and we run workshops and team building. But what we're really passionate about is bullying and harassment prevention. The Workplace Inappropriate podcast is part of that purpose that we feel strongly about. Creating workplaces where people feel safe to be themselves, they feel heard, and they know they can come to work and enjoy friendships and engagement with customers and their job, and they don't have to worry about being harassed or bullied or sexually assaulted. That's our ideal workplace and an ideal outcome from our prevention programs. So in our episodes, we're going to discuss everyday things that happen in workplaces all the time. And sometimes they mean nothing. And sometimes they can lead to a very bad outcome for the employees and for the business. So today, we're going to talk about something that's pertinent and interesting, hopefully, and give you some tips about how you can show up and do your best at work and be workplace appropriate. If you have any ideas for our podcast, we'd love to hear them. We'd love to hear topics and questions. Q&A is always open every month for you to submit your questions. And if you're interested as a business owner in learning more about how you can create better workplace interactions and prevent bullying and harassment, then please engage with us. Give us a call on 0746 02 990 or contact us through the website workforcepositive.com to talk to us about our prevention programs. We have an efficient, effective, cost-effective program that you can access on a monthly or annual basis. It's my pleasure to bring you this podcast, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's take a moment to introduce the people that make this podcast possible. We have Kate. Kate is our HR program coordinator and my executive assistant at Workforce Positive. She's a current HR student at university studying business management, majoring in HR and maybe accounting, but she hasn't decided yet. Kate's passionate about equity. She loves to do the right thing and she has an incredible work ethic. As a person, she's just a pleasure to have around and so funny. But do watch out for her hockey stick. We have Zoe. Zoe is also a student at the Australian National University studying psychology and international business. She's in her second year and about to jet set off to the UK for a vacation internship or exchange program. I think that's what it's called, an exchange program. Zoe has an incredible interest in communication, psychology, diversity, and she brings all of her own work experiences and experiences at university to the table. She loves to know why things happen, why people communicate, and how they can go astray sometimes. We also have our regular Joe off the street. Now, regular Joe, he represents just that, regular Joe. He's all about not being politically correct, not being censored, saying what you think, and letting everyone just be themselves. So thank you to Kate, Zoe, and Joe off the street for bringing your talents to the show.
Okay, so let's get into it. So this one, it says, am I the asshole for trolling my 25-year-old female team member, he's 45 male, at work and getting him fired? Oh no, yes, sorry. Am I the asshole for trolling my team member at work and getting him fired? I, 25 female, work for a distributor that supplies the hospitality industry. I initially joined as a customer service representative as a temporary role. I'm blind. The managers liked me and invited me back to cover their ordering department. Then they offered me an operations role, and I'll be honest, I love it. The account managers are responsible for selling the fiscal aspects, but I am responsible for logistics, supply chain, customer complaints, and basically anything they can't do while mobile. So basically everything else, they are the face, I am the background. Word got out that I was good at what I do. Ooh, bit ego. Okay. And I'm now I'm now responsible for the most accounts due to account managers asking for me. The customer from the company's biggest account, won't actually deal with anyone else but me. This is all well and good, and I'm proud of myself for doing well because I couldn't go to college, but long story. But I am the youngest on my team of 12 by 10 years, and they all hate me. Ooh. The oldest member of our team, male, is, well, they said M, let's call them M, is the worst for it. He has made a lot of remarks over my time with the company, usually calling me a girl and basically saying I don't deserve to be there. I maybe did the wrong thing and just started calling him on it and saying now you wouldn't want people to think this team isn't civilized, etc. This was made worse when recently I accepted a promotion to logistics manager. My boss announced it and my account managers are upset that I won't be taking care of the accounts anymore. My team are upset because they think I'm too young and unqualified. I was going to make a cuppa. When turning into the kitchen, I heard the oldest member of my team saying, I can't believe that white witch thing got that promotion. To which I heard another team member reply that they were shocked and then compared me to Miranda Priestley in the Devil's Wear Prada. I rounded the corner the rest of the way, smiled. They left awkwardly. Then right or wrong, I got pissed off. I wasn't blessed with being socially gifted. I was, however, blessed with being a problem solver, and I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is being treated badly because of it. We all have strong and weak points. So I started signing any email interactions I had with him, Lilth or Miranda. My boss knew I had discussed it. However, when M went over his head and got upper management involved, there was a meeting. He said I was making him uncomfortable. I then pointed management and HR to all the times I had complained about him making nasty comments to start with. Not only that, but I showed them an email where he told me I was a little girl who knew nothing and didn't deserve a promotion. He got let go. I didn't think his behaviour was fair or nice, but maybe I should have kept my mouth shut. It is someone's livelihood. At the same time, I think he hung himself. Am I the asshole? Oh my God.
As in, killed himself?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Surely not.
Like gave himself enough rope to
Oh, is she saying that he did it
do himself in, or did he actually take his own life?
It's someone's, I think he took his own life. Holy crap. I didn't think his behaviour was fair or nice, but maybe I should have kept my mouth shut. It's someone's livelihood. At the same time, I think he hung himself.
Oh, God.
Because he lost his job.
Yeah, I don't think she's talking about him taking his life. I think she would be a little bit more circumspect with that.
Yes.
I think it's like a metaphor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
him doing it to himself.
Yeah.
So what do you think? She's the asshole, he's the asshole.
Oh, look.
God, that's a lot to take in, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a massive story. Look, I don't think that she's the asshole, but I think she probably
I think she made a fair complaint.
Yeah, I don't think she was the asshole in telling HR that someone was saying that about her, because that's not a workplace appropriate thing to say. I think that probably like she was saying like socially she's not gifted, so she could potentially be doing things that she would be perceived as an asshole for, but we don't know that because it's only one side of the story.
That's right.
So it's a bit hard to make a judgment.
I'm trying to follow the bouncing ball along. I don't know about you, Meg, but
Help me out.
So my understanding is she's 25. Not that age has really got much to do with it. She was
it's important on Reddit.
she
25
was
minutes.
there for not very long, and she got lots of promotions.
Yes.
Customers liked her,
Yes.
but no one else in the workplace did.
Well, the bosses liked her. She got a job done.
Yeah,
But I think there's got to be a reason why, if you're working, what you say, 12 people that she worked with,
Her team, yeah. I
and
guess.
none of them like you.
But wasn't she trolling somebody? Have I missed
I
the
think
whole
that's
point?
what the
Wasn't-
whole thing about saying the email signs off.
yeah, because they called her Miranda Priestley, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Devil
so
Wears
she was-
Prada.
So she was signing off as Miranda.
Yeah, right.
To like sort of make it known that she knew that they were saying that about
Yeah,
her.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that's an asshole move. I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, right? So that set of circumstances indicates that she has made a series of workplace complaints about this
Yes.
man, and they have done very little. He makes one complaint about how she signs off her emails, which I'll be honest, I find that kind of funny.
Yeah. And it's like a
And
big
she gets
deal.
dragged into a meeting and she says, well, here's an email where he's called me a little girl, and he gets let go. Well, if you're going to start it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Be wary
He's
of
the one who
consequences.
complained.
yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's just really jealous of her because she's
It
getting
sounds-
these promotions.
Sounds like the team's just jealous of her.
Yeah.
Because she's young
all
and
she's
got...
done. No, you don't. It sounds like all she's doing is doing her job really well. She's got some promotions. Then they're having a little bit of a bitch about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's probably also like you have that like wolf mentality. I think when someone starts to not like someone and resent someone and they start to find like every little thing wrong with them, I think especially because she's so young, they probably talk amongst themselves, and that's probably why everyone doesn't like her, because they're starting to like pick out all her flaws. But again, that's like we can't know for sure. But like I feel like that does happen when someone's young and people are like resenting them. No?
I still think there must be. Okay, so there's three sides to the truth. There's your truth, my truth, and the actual truth.
Yeah.
So I think in that case, she's
Yeah.
got to have been doing something to have everybody not like her.
Yeah.
Upper management might like her because she's doing a great job and the customers like her, but she must be doing something in the office
That is true.
for
But the thing
everybody
is,
else to have the shit.
Why have no one else made a complaint against her? Why has it taken so long for this complaint to go, and then HR have obviously come to the conclusion that he was in the wrong and has been let go? So she's feeling bad. She thinks she's the asshole because she's gotten someone fired when she was just telling her side of what's happened.
She's potentially a toxic A. So an A performer who has some methodology about their work which gets people offside.
Well, as you already mentioned, that I'm the best at my job, and
Yeah, she's got a bit of ego.
I don't know. I think when a woman says they're good at something, people are immediately like, oh, but guys do that all the time.
and we
like,
get
"And you
exactly
should
the
get
same part.
big pay rise. People are like, yeah, we'll give you lots of money, like, whatever. So I don't know. I don't want to judge her for saying that she's good at something when she is good at something. But she did mention that she's socially awkward or socially not gifted in terms of skill set. And, if you're a little bit arrogant or aloof or potentially quiet, or you don't really want to help people, but you know what it takes to do the job well, and you get a reputation for like killing it, but not really being a team player, yeah, people aren't going to like you for sure. And, that's life. You've got to accept, if you want to be the best and out in front of everyone, if you're not bringing other people along with you, you're probably not going to be very well liked.
But do you think that's like the way they responded to it was appropriate? Like, do you think it's okay to, like, I don't know, like, are they allowed to like call her names and stuff, or should they communicate with her about it?
This goes back to our previous podcast, doesn't it?
Well, see, I don't know. I would have, if it had been, I would have called her Miranda the whole time. She's taking it, making it fun of it. I'll make fun of it. Let's all make fun of it and be something that we can.
Yeah, make it
over.
more lighthearted.
Yeah.
But instead, he just thinks it's all
uncomfortable
It's
now.
uncomfortable, and has gone and complained.
Yeah.
I think there's more to the story than what's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like she needs to go and talk to somebody else other than ask the question there. Because she's only just giving her side of the story.
Yeah.
Maybe she needs to go and talk to her HR and say,
Yeah,
That's what's happened. Am I?
the asshole.
Yeah.
There should be
Because
a
I'm
special
sure
department.
she's done.
I feel like we
things.
should vote. I don't think she's the asshole, but she probably has some things to learn
Yeah,
about
I
workplace.
agree.
Contributed to
Yeah.
yeah.
Relationships.
Might not be likable, but like she did the right thing going, hey.
But
Sorry, one of the comments has said, not the arsehole, you were petty for sure though. Anyway, should we move on to the next one?
Well, does everyone else have an opinion about whether or not she was the asshole?
I don't think she's the arsehole.
No.
I think there's HR for a reason. I don't think they did their job.
I don't think
properly.
she did that to get him fired. She literally just told them
Then
what
what
he
he-
said.
that's
and
right.
that their decision was to let him go. She just said, well, he called me a little girl who didn't deserve the promotion, which is fair enough, he did, you know? So like,
She
I don't
didn't-
think
she didn't
was
have
wrong
it
in
in-
like relaying that information.
Yeah.
I think she probably did some things like with her team that like weren't likable.
I don't think she purposely meant to get him fired.
No.
Anyway, moving on. This next one says,
What do you think?
All have an opinion.
oh, sorry.
I don't know.
There's not enough information.
I find it hard to comment on these things.
Megan's HR mind's coming out.
Yeah.
I need every side.
Up to a full investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a full investigation.
that's why
Yeah.
I'm here. So
I'm
I can speak
concerned
without
about the
actually
last
having any
line.
information.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, I know. I was concerned about that last
As
line
soon as
too.
you finished that with that last line, that totally changed it for me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, you know, how has this all ended?
Yeah, I think that one's a bit of a mystery.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know if it was a metaphor or if it was true. Anyway,
Would it have been different if it was a dude? Because like, every single one of you said, oh, she's a young girl, 25. It's not her fault. But I know plenty of 25-year-old dudes who are just as arrogant and painful, and they get treated just the same. Like,
yeah.
but you would make fun of them. I would make fun of them in the workplace,
I don't think it would.
and people have made fun of me.
I
in the
don't think so.
I don't think so.
Because in fact, I think they get less of the brunt because they're a man. Like I think they're perceived innately to be like, powerful and like good at things, and they can be proud of that. Well, I'm saying that they can be proud of that without like feeling embarrassed. Whereas I think women are more like you were saying, it's like if a woman says she's good at something, it's like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, but
Guys say that all the time, and it's not as like jarring.
Even when they're only average.
Yeah.
oh,
Oh. All right, let's move
that's not a
on.
slight on average Joe, by the way.
Oh, that's got nothing to do with average Joe, no.
All right. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for making a coworker upset when I corrected her that we were just coworkers and not friends? Kind of a weird post, but it just happened, so I want to know if I'm the asshole. I just left a job that I had for over 2 years. During that time, I had come to like many of my coworkers, but I didn't consider them as to be my friends, in my opinion. Friends are people who you hang out with and are able to text and call about out of the blue. I understand that my opinion of friend may not be the universal definition of friend, but I have used this definition in my life and consider people who fit the above description friends. All others are co-workers and colleagues. So if I don't hang out or text you about non-work related things, then I'm not your friend. On my last day of work, a former co-worker of mine kept saying they would miss me and kept referring to me as their friend. I reminded them that while I enjoy their company at work, I don't consider us to be friends. They were confused as they thought we were. I reminded them that every time I asked them to hang out outside of work, they would say no and would give reasons that ranged from understandable to no to ones that were, well, obvious that they didn't want to hang out with me. Okay. I soon realised that maybe we weren't going to be friends and that I had a co-worker that was a colleague who I could talk to during work hours. I let them know that I only considered people my friend if I hung out with them outside of work. They tried to laugh it off, as I was not being serious. I told them I was serious and that I would consider them a co-worker. They got upset and said that friends come in all different varieties and that we were friends because we had conversations at work. I politely informed them that while we might see that as a friendship, I did not. I saw us as co-workers. My co-worker got quiet and didn't continue the conversation. They then called me an asshole for making them upset. I was confused as it was a cordial conversation. Am I the asshole for making my co-worker upset that I didn't consider them a friend?
Oh, wow, yes.
No.
Person sounds very analytical.
No.
Oh, it wasn't worth it.
I've got an edit here. They've edited it. says, I forget that sometimes I don't write out what I'm thinking. Just for clarification, the reason I said I did not see us as friends was because the person wouldn't go out and hang out with other people from the office and wouldn't tell me about it during lunch. Whenever I would ask to hang out, it would always be a polite, no thank you, and that is fine. That would just make us co-workers. Maybe I'm being petty. Coincidentally, I also have friends that I hung out with outside of work from this job.
Okay.
So
But
is
you
she
can
the
have
asshole? No. I don't think so.
I think she is.
Yeah.
You can have a friend or you can be friendly with your work colleagues. You don't have to hang out outside of work.
Yeah.
That doesn't determine if you're a friend or you're a friendly co-worker.
I think they could have handled the
Like there's
conversation
a
better.
difference.
Yeah, is it necessary to say that?
I don't think it's necessary to say
it's
that.
just
I think
like it's just going to
a
cause
nasty
more
thing.
harm.
Yeah.
Because like you can think in your brain, I don't want this person to be a friend, and that's fine. But
Like,
you know,
you're
if you're
leaving
friendly with
anyway.
someone at work, there's no point in just being like, okay, well, you're not my friend. It's like,
I don't think she needed to say that.
No, it's just
She
not
didn't need to have to
necessary.
say that. She can just say,
She's leaving anyway. She's
Yeah,
probably not going to see them
exactly.
ever again. You don't have to.
And they don't hang out outside of work, so there's not really any other interaction they're going to have.
it's a very primary school, you know, I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
Just
Don't
because
talk
she's
to me.
upset. I mean, she said she's being petty.
But she's allowed to choose who is not her friend.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Everyone is
So
allowed to, but I
why-
feel like going up to them and saying, I am not your friend.
He's an asshole.
I am your co-worker. Correct your grammar.
She seems
Like, I would be like, whoa.
I do agree that I think that she's probably making it harder than it needs to be.
Yes.
But at least a co-worker who's not really a friend knows where she stands. Out in the cold.
Would you do that to someone?
Leave. You just leave the job and
Yeah, you
Yeah.
never speak to
you
them
never see them again, never hear from them.
Yeah, that's right.
I think what she was actually, like for me, this is unnecessary drama on the last day of your
Yes.
employment.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
But what she's really pulling attention to is the fact that
didn't
she'd
hang
been brushed by this girl and or colleague, and she didn't like it, and she sucked it up. Like, you know, it's not nice saying, "Do you want to hang out?" And they're like, "No," and they hang out with other people, and they're like, "Oh, we're friends," and you're like, "Hang on a minute, you brushed me." She was trying to draw attention to that,
Yeah, that's true.
and maybe she could have just let it all go and just moved on.
Yeah.
But she didn't. So good for her for calling her out on her crap.
Well, then back yourself and don't go to Reddit and ask if you're an asshole. Just be an asshole because you felt like it.
Yeah.
Okay to be an arsehole sometimes.
It is. And so then again, but I feel like you go to Reddit.
But now
because
she's
you
like
feel
trying
like
to
you didn't do the
feel
right
bad.
thing.
Yeah.
You're trying to have people help
Yeah.
you justify your actions.
Yes.
Validation.
Okay.
Well, I'm on her side and you guys can be against her. That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh no,
We're allowed
saying
to
that
have-
someone's the asshole doesn't mean that you don't like them or that they did the wrong thing. Being an asshole is okay sometimes.
You've heard it here, people. Every average man out there is okay to be an asshole occasionally.
I guess she's just being clear on, do we want to keep in touch after I finish
Yes. No.
working here?
Yeah.
Set
No.
boundaries.
No.
Yeah, and just leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah. I-
There's no
I agree.
obligation. You
She
don't have to
probably
keep
made
in
it
touch with.
a bigger issue than it needed.
Yeah, yeah. Because essentially that's what they're trying to establish, or she's trying to establish.
I think you're right. She's probably just hurt that she got brushed off so many times and was like, I want to hurt you. And they'd be like, okay, we're not friends. And then it was a bit petty. But yeah, fair enough.
I'm sorry, I just read one.
This
Hates
sounds like the
reading
next
ahead.
one.
This one's not like an Am I the Arsehole, it's just like a comment that someone's put in there. It says, so this is, what's the juicy drama going on in your workplace? And someone has commented, construction site. Someone keeps clogging the portable urinals with tightly rolled toilet paper. Someone also keeps writing racist threats. Now they have a narc who goes in after people to check.
That is juicy. Imagine.
No. Imagine if your job was
Yeah.
patrolling the portable
Every
toilet.
time someone's gone and used it, you've got to be the first one to walk in.
Do you
kinda
get like a
funny.
serious like gas mask? Like imagine the risk to my health and
Oh,
safety.
God. Straight after.
I've worked in a place where every now and again a disgruntled employee would leave an extra little package in the toilet that probably should not have been left in the toilet. Yes.
A little package.
Yes.
Like drugs? Or what,
No.
what are we talking
So
here?
instead of going to the toilet and flushing it, they would leave it on the floor.
On the floor?
Oh,
Yes. And this happened on more than one occasion. And then there'd be a resignation and it would stop. It was almost like that was their way of going,
Goodbye. Kind of funny.
screw this place.
Yeah.
But I've not heard of clogging the toilet up with
Toilet
Yeah,
paper.
that was
toilet
for what
rolls.
reason?
Yeah, that's like them. I mean, construction site, portable
Is it just
loo.
to spite? Like,
Yeah, inspired or is that a
No, those
parting-
portable
parting
toilets
gift?
are so
Yeah.
gross. I actually have a fear of porta potties.
Yeah.
I have a general fear.
And there's all those movie scenes where they get pushed over and stuff.
Yeah, but it's never women that's in them. It's always the dude. It's always the apprentice that's in there. Because he's been sitting there for an hour on his phone.
Yes, that's
Gets locked in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, we'll do one more Am I the Arsehole and we'll go through some juicy stories.
Okay.
All right. Am I the arsehole for trying to get my employee to do her job? Hi all. I, 40-year-old male, a senior designer of a very small company. I've been overwhelmed with work and about 6 months ago we hired someone to be my junior. I'm not technically her boss, but as her senior, I basically act as a substitute for one. I was a little suspicious of this girl, 24 female, because she seemed to have different experience than someone who would have applied for this role. She majored in UI/UX.
User interface, user experience.
Yeah, but we had a lot in common and she seemed friendly. I used to work as a team lead for a game design studio and managed a bunch of younger employees who kind of saw me as a team dad. And she reminded me of the kids who used to work for me there. My last role was more competitive, but my wife is pregnant and I wanted to take an easier job to help her out with the pregnancy/baby. I wanted to ease her into things, but apparently she had some, back to the employee by the sounds of it, not the baby. I wanted to ease her into things, but apparently she had some training scheduled for UI/UX person during her downtime. We don't have downtime here. I saw she had a meeting on her calendar with him for after work hours, so I told her she didn't have my permission to do that. She said she had finished all the design work, but that's only because I was shielding her from the harder work. I'm the one having to do the difficult projects and she's not even a little thankful that I'm saving her from having to work weekends. I didn't tell her to do these tasks, but as an adult, it is her job to take initiative and volunteer. I've tried to look out for her best interests and be a friendly boss, but I also have to remind her that I'm in charge. During a meeting, when I was having a really horrific day, mostly because I was picking up work she should be doing, plus stress of my wife's pregnancy, I snapped and called her a bitch. Note, I've never called a woman this in my entire life. It was a gender-suited insult that would just come out instead of something like asshole. She looked upset and ended the call without even saying bye. I know it was unprofessional of me, but I've called much worse than that in previous jobs and I assumed she'd get over it. I was friendly with her via IM that rest of the day, but she didn't reply. I got an email from HR saying that she had requested us, me, her and HR, to meet about this incident. I'm not sure what to do. My wife is saying that calling her a bitch was crossing a line, even if she is lazy and doesn't want to do her job, and I can see that it wasn't the right move. But going to HR seems way out of line. I know that I shouldn't have insulted her, but I feel like overall she's consistently being the problem here. Am I the arsehole?
Well, he did call her a bitch. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I don't want to agree with you guys. She's probably in trouble with HR.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
can't
saying
put,
that,
like-
saying that HR is too, like, you know, or HR is a bit much for that incident. Like, what?
Yeah.
Of course HR is going to get involved in something like that.
Yeah.
What a victim.
Yeah. Like, oh, my...
Oh, me, I'm so busy.
Yeah.
My wife's
my wife's pregnant.
Shut up.
Child, and I just go to work and do nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, except I do everything.
Oh my God.
This bloke is making out like she should be able to read his mind. I'm shielding her and I'm basically like a dad and I'm a friend and I'm amazing. I'm amazing in every way. And she should be so grateful for me, but she's not doing her job. So, I mean, I think the first favour he could give himself and her is to be clear about his work expectations. Shielding someone indicates like you're infantilising them. Like you don't have a clear picture of what's going on, what the work requirements are, what the project's timeframes or deadlines or deliverables are. I'm going to do it all and you need to be grateful even though you've got no clue what I'm doing. It sounds like they work from home, so there's a layer of lost communication about what's actually going on. So, mate, do your job. Actually engage with your team member, delegate, train, and then you can have an expectation that she'll do something. But calling her lazy and then, what is it? A gender appropriate insult of calling someone a bitch. Yeah, you are the arsehole.
Yeah. There was a real big skip from him just like not talking to her about any of the issues to him calling her a bitch. Like, that's not okay. That's your fault, you know?
And blaming it on, I had a horrific day
Yeah.
as well. Like,
Yeah, you can't swear at your work colleagues.
No, point blank.
So,
Hasn't
no, I don't think
one
so.
night of
It's
sleep.
insulting.
Bitch is hardly swearing.
God.
It's the name of a female dog. Look, I have to agree with you that I think he's stepped over the line, and I think he's also got the issue that let's say he has been shielding her from all this work. There's no way that he comes out of this, because if he just starts dumping her all this work, she's going to go to HR and say that he's bullying her. She's doing next to no work perhaps because he's not allowing her. That's not her fault. I think he's made very difficult for himself.
Because he's a poor manager.
yeah.
He needs to do a psychosocial risk assessment.
Yeah, on himself.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think he's in trouble. Though I don't agree with it, I think he's in trouble.
Definitely. He's definitely in
I
trouble.
like how you how do I not agree with you lot?
Yeah.
But actually also take issue with.
Well, 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Like if someone going to HR because one person called you a bitch once. Like, what's her job and what's that young person's job going to look like for the rest of their working life? As every single time someone calls them a bad name, they're going to go to HR?
But he's her manager.
No, he's not. He's a work colleague. No, he said he's not a manager.
Well,
I thought he was more, okay,
He's
not
the
manager,
senior
but he's
designer.
the senior.
Yeah, he's a senior designer.
Yeah,
But
so
see,
you've got that.
I think it's the build-up
power
of
play.
everything. Like, you know, we talk about psychosocial safety and all of that. You know, it's the build-up of, not delegating work, not allowing her to go and do something after work hours. And
yeah, what was that about?
I don't know. Like there was something there about not allowing her to do something after
Meeting after 5.
5 or something. Yeah. Like that would just be building up, and then calling her a bitch, she'd just be like, no way. Like, this is enough.
No, I feel like if my senior called me a bitch, I'd feel very uncomfortable. And it's not that like I can take being called a bitch, but it's just more of like I feel like they should probably be pulled up on their behavior. Like if th're gonna.
The thing is, you have to work with this
that's
person
appropriate.
every day. like if someone
Yeah.
in your personal life calls you a bitch, you just never talk to them again, or you know you.
Well, yeah. I mean, like
Fisty with them,
someone
circumstances.
Were any of you bullied growing up? Because Jesus Christ.
Well, if you threw a punch, you got in trouble. So
So sneaky nicknames is okay.
but you have to keep going to work with this person.
It's a professional relationship. It's not like a casual relationship.
So that job for both of them is ending because she's not going to be able to work with him and he's not going to be able to work with her. I would never work with her ever again because she went to HR once. And she's probably never going to want to work with me ever again because I treat her like shit. So that's it. There's not going to be a good outcome from that.
Really, I feel like if that happened, like you could go and if you call someone a bitch at HR, you apologise, you talk about it, and move
mediation.
on. Yeah,
mediation.
I think you definitely
I'm
could
never
do
trusting
that.
you ever again.
But you were the
I
one
think
who
it's
messed up.
recoverable.
If that slipped out of my mouth, I would definitely be like, okay, my actions were wrong, and I'm going to apologise, and it's fair enough that she went to HR.
Yeah, but I still will never deal with you again.
Really?
No. Me personally, I would never deal with you again.
Right. Yeah.
What if it was like your
We would never be
favourite
friends.
job?
We would not be.
Your co-workers.
No, but
Your co-workers,
she
not
went to
friends.
HR.
yeah,
Okay.
I screwed up.
Segue.
So you see that as like, so if she had just come to you or not and said, look, I have a problem with you calling me a bitch.
Yeah, and I'd be like, well, look, this is why I called you bitch because
Yeah.
this, and this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But because she went to HR, you feel she's, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Especially in a
interesting
small team.
In that scenario, like you've outlined, like, yeah, I called you a bitch. This is what was happening from my perspective. But he's just tried to gloss over it like it's no biggie. And
I
he's
didn't
like,
say that he did the right thing.
no. But I think if he had maybe approached it differently and like you say, maybe apologised independently of being asked to by HR, which is like, yeah, you do it, but it has no real value. He's gone and IM'd her, he said, later, and he was like, oh, let's just sweep that under the enormous carpet. And she didn't buy it. If he had apologised, maybe he might have got a different outcome.
Yeah, that's
Because,
true.
the word bitch is, yeah.
On the list of things to call people, that would have to be below entry level.
It's interesting because in Australia, I think our tolerance for swearing is a lot higher than other countries. And particularly if you talk to Americans,
Yeah.
That would
that
not
would
be
be,
on.
whoa.
Yeah.
I just think
In some pockets.
I think it's because it's at work and it is a professional environment. It makes it so much worse. And because it was said, it would have been the tone as well.
Oh, yeah, he didn't say it as to be funny.
No. If it's a funny thing, who cares? But it was angry. And he could tell she was upset and didn't say anything. He just, he tried to sweep it under the rug. I think that's what makes it uncomfortable. And then when you know someone's trying to avoid it, going up and then confronting them can sometimes be hard for people, you know.
And
not everyone's as
and the advice is to go to HR.
Yeah.
That's
the protocol.
That's right.
It is interesting. She's working from home most probably by herself. Who else do you talk to about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And generally, I know everyone's they've gone to HR because they're I'm going to bring in the heavies and basically try and do some damage. It's not that. Generally, there's two people you meet when you start in any job. It's the HR person that employed you, did your recruitment process, and the person that interviewed you or managed you. So if it has anything to do with your direct team and manager, the only other person you know in the business is probably HR. The training's not that high quality that they've actually been given an equity officer or a complaints process. They're just talking to someone that they know.
That's right.
Did you just mouth equity officer? It's a formal role that's meant to design around things like this. It's not equity from an equality, diversity standpoint. Equity, it's more about workplace treatment. So it's sometimes the first point of call for bullying and harassment.
So what's our verdicts? Who's the asshole?
He is.
Yeah.
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 He is definitely the asshole.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm loath to agree, but I have to.
All right, we'll finish off with a few juicy work drama. I've just read one. So it says, a 35-year-old manager might have been dating a 19-year-old cashier. Very hush-hush, but the rumours do spread. They got caught kissing in the refrigerator.
I feel like that's happened so many times. Even I hear from my friends that their co-worker who's 19 is dating the 40-year-old manager, and I'm like, what is going on? But yeah, drama.
Biology. What is that line from that song? You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals.
What?
That's a biology
that
line
song.
or something. So let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on. Did you know that? Yeah. That's enough. We don't have to see anymore.
Next
So
question.
So where's the juice? Is there more juice?
I'm getting there, I'm reading.
Oh, okay.
All right, this one's a bigger paragraph. We'll see where it goes. Co-worker got her car repossessed. She had it for 6 months, almost tore the bumper off, and just beat the thing all to hell. She thought she could... In 6 months. She thought she could just make partial car payments. She didn't want to pay 100% of all of her bills because she'd have very little money left to do fun things, aka getting really drunk. She has to come up with $1,100 in 10 days to get it back and provide proof of insurance. Well, not only does she not have $1,100, she also does not have insurance. In order to get the insurance, she needs a valid driver's license, which she also does not have. She thinks she can let the car go without any consequences and the dealer will just sell it and recoup their losses. And this week, she has bed bugs. She thinks she can just move downstairs because the bed bugs are upstairs.
I love how these people go and write this all on Reddit. It's just they just have it.
I'm on there.
And then
the
so
person
funny. I'm like,
names
okay,
themselves and
they
goes,
need to
"Why am I
gossip to someone
calling?"
about it.
Yeah, gossip about it.
That's so random and not work related, but now we
They're trying
know.
to say this person takes no personal responsibility.
Yeah,
Why are they working
Just
with
kids
me?
these days. Parents do everything for their kids and so they're useless.
that is true. We're useless. She's talking about us. Yeah, I know. That's why useless.
Let's explore that a little bit more. This might be the first thing I might actually agree with you, Will.
Well, just kids really have no idea how to deal with a problem or what the true consequences.
Some kids, not all kids.
It's true, some kids. But I think most parents are pretty keen to pay for most things and
We're not taught how to deal with an issue, how to deal with a problem in general life. Oh, we're taught how to figure out the area of a square and what the hypotenuse of a triangle is, but we're not.
Important in day-to-day life.
Yeah, it really is. It's not, but we don't get taught how to deal with.
Changing beds is not going to deal with your bed bugs issue. He's going to take the bed bugs with you.
I think, yeah.
You know that.
Yuck.
Doesn't know how to call the
Yeah,
exterminator.
why don't you just call someone? I don't understand.
People don't call, like,
Call a man. He'll come round. He'll sort it out for you.
or a woman.
No, you'll definitely need a man for that.
That's a man job.
Pest are a man job. I'm okay with that.
What's our conclusion of all of these stories?
Oh, look.
People need help. There's a lot of people that need help.
Needs help. Yeah, that's not normal.
That person needs a lot of help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the conclusion of the episode.
Like, but my question is, I feel like there's a busybodiness about this. Like, just because your co-worker doesn't make their car repayments, why are you on Reddit? And why do you
I know, that's so
care?
funny.
Like,
The fact that she posted
live your
that.
own life.
You're the asshole.
Judgy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you have to post about someone else's life?
She genuinely probably just has no one else to talk to about it.
No,
she
and I
needs
think-
to tell someone, and
Exactly.
that's where Reddit comes in.
Yeah, I think that's where.
But that's like so random to like relay that. But yeah.
But even just to mention like how much their car was bumped up. Like, who cares if you hit a few
Yeah.
Kieran, is this coming from
Who
experience?
Who cares if I hit a parked car? I didn't see that car.
All right.
That's really funny. Happened more
Zoe
than
was
once.
in the car.
Yeah, I was there.
I think it's too personal.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, how does she know all that? That is weird. Anyways, let's move past it.
Do you think she's a friend of me? She thinks she's
Oh, probably.
I love your...
You're just a coworker, not a friend.
Don't. Yeah. We're not hanging out.
Yeah, we're not hanging out.
It's funny. Okay.
I think that's the end of it. I'm closing my computer.
Okay. Thanks for listening to this episode, everyone.
If you liked this, let us know and we can do it again.
Yeah. We'll do more.
That was fun.
Also submit your juicy work stories with our question link on the Instagram.
And or if there's a Reddit that you think we should discuss.
Yeah.
Send us the link.
We particularly like the ones with assholes, by the way.
Yeah.
And bitches.
Oh. Sensitive topic.
Average Joe's doesn't like
Well,
people to
everyone
be-
has an asshole, so it doesn't matter. A woman, everyone's equal.
Oh my god.
And on that note, goodbye.
See you next
Yeah.
time.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us and listening to the Workplace Inappropriate podcast. As a business owner, I'm very grateful for the other businesses that we work with to make this possible. Our suppliers do an impeccable job and we're so grateful for Premier Sound and Lighting. Justin Myers, thank you for making us sound so good. Dave, in Ireland, we had to go all the way to Ireland to find the best production guy there is, but you make us look good and you keep it classy with your editorial. Thank you very much. To Anthony, our voiceover guy, you're the best voiceover guy there is. Thank you. Jess Ritchie from Transformational Brand Lab, thank you for our branding and imagery. It's just beautiful. Thank you for listening and we'll see you next month.
Thanks for listening to Workplace Inappropriate from WorkplacePositive.com. Workforce Positive offers a fresh approach to bullying and harassment prevention training. Our training goes beyond the legislative definitions. We apply learning to real examples so that your team are equipped to make the best possible decisions on their conduct. With the Workplace Inappropriate Training Program, employers have access to monthly live training to induct new team members every 30 days, ensuring that you're always current with your legal obligations to actively prevent bullying and harassment at work. We have your policy, process, conduct charter, and training covered, all in one place. Contact WorkforcePositive.com at www.workforcepositive.com to learn more.